civil war brewing within the GOP over the meaning of conservative and the question of who is electable. There are some in the GOP who are so outraged by Trump and Cruz that they say they would actually rather have Hillary Clinton in the White House. So, Carly Fiorina, I ask you this. Is your party in crisis?
You know, when I started my campaign on May 4th of last year, I was 17 out of 16 candidates. Nobody polled my name. Nobody had ever heard of me. Less than 4% of you had ever heard of me. And the people in Iowa showed up, and they're still showing up, hundreds and hundreds of them at every event. I've done over 150 events in the state of Iowa. I have 15 more coming up. Now, by the way, I start there because someone asked me about midway through my campaign, what's the biggest surprise to you on the campaign trail? And I'll tell you what the biggest surprise is. The chasm, the yawning chasm between what the national media talks about and what the people of Iowa and the people of this great nation talk about. That's the biggest surprise. So guess what, Martha? Guess what? Sorry, the people of Iowa never asked me about a crisis in the GOP. They never asked me about the polls. They never asked me about the other candidates. What they asked me about is, Carly, tell us why zero-based budgeting is so important. Tell us why you're a leader who's going to produce results. Tell us how you're going to defeat ISIS. Tell us how we're going to replace Obamacare. In other words, I'm going to put my faith every single time, not in the pundits, not in the polls, most definitely not in the national media. I'm going to put my faith in the common sense and the good judgment of the voters of Iowa. And last time I looked, you hadn't started voting yet. So on Monday night, I hope you'll stand with me, fight with me, caucus for me, because citizens, this is why we have to take our government back. The establishment thinks it owns this country. The pundits think they own this country. The media thinks they own this country. We were intended to be a citizen government. Citizens, the game is rigged. You have the power. Take our country back.
Thank you. Governor Gilmore.